Well, hello, modelers, and welcome back to the bench. So, apologize for the delay on videos with this kit. Um, to be perfectly honest, after the last video I posted, where I had attached the two halves of the saucer section, it's been just kind of spiraling, kind of downhill with this kit. I run into a lot of problems, and I had to go back and take some stuff apart and redo it. Uh, I could have very easily just showed this off and said, hey, this is it. I sealed the saucer halves together. Everything worked out fine. Everything looks great, and not gone into the serious error that I made. But I'm not going to do that because, first, it's going to go against what I designed this channel for, which was a teaching channel. And second, I would be lying if I said, oh, this, no problems. And I'm not going to do that. So, long story short, after the last video I posted, where I had sealed this guy up and, everything looked fine, I came back the next morning. It was Saturday morning, and I came back in, I woke up, had some coffee, came upstairs, and took the clamps off, and everything, was fine. And as you know, in that video, I had stated that I had to remove one of the two resistors that I had attached to the LED strip tape. And I thought that solved my problem. No, it didn't, actually. The problem creeped up on me yet again. So after I took the clamps off, I gave it a light test just to see how it was doing. And I kept it lit for a little while. I kept it lit for about maybe 20 minutes just to let it see what it was going to do. And first 20 minutes was fine, no problems. And then I noticed some lights starting to flicker again. I was like, oh, no. And it was on the other side they started to flicker. And I'm like, okay. So I was debating on taking it apart and just taking the resistors completely off the LED strip tape. And I was like, well, maybe it's not that bad. Maybe if I just put it to one side, it won't be too noticeable. Wishful thinking. I just didn't want to take it apart. Well, the light went out completely. It just stopped working in general. So I thought, well, that made my decision pretty easy. So luckily, I had not attached the impulse deck yet. So I was able to take an X-Acto knife and I cut around the seam that I glued up, and then I put I took a pair of tweezers, the back end of a pair of tweezers, and I got in there and I kind of pried up until the saucer pulled apart. Luckily, with no damage. Nothing broke. I was able to sand down the glue points back down to bare plastic again. And what I ended up doing was I just took all the resistors out completely from all the LED strip tape. That includes on the secondary hull as well. And I did that, and I rewired it back up, and I hooked up to power, and I ran it for about another, I think I ran it for almost an hour, and not a problem one. So came to the conclusion at that point that it was the resistors causing the problem. But I still had the other problem, which was the lights were still too bright, and I didn't want them that bright. So I kept thinking, well, maybe if I throw some white paint on the lights, it might diffuse them a little bit. Well, that didn't quite work out because it gave a very yellowish tint, which is not what I was looking for. So the last thing I tried, and I wish I thought this sooner, would save me a lot of grief, was I just took a bottle of X19 Tamiya Smoke. And I just took a little bit of this on a brush and just dropped a little drop of it inside each of the emitters, the diodes, on the LED strip tape, and let it dry. And when I did that, basically what it did was it tinted the light and caused it to dim out quite considerably, just about to the point that I was looking for. And I thought, okay, well, that works. So that's just an idea for you guys if you want to try to dim your lights out. And mind you, this is still running at 9 volts, so I really didn't want to go any lower than 9. So the Tamiya smoke actually helped a lot, and that's what I ended up doing. Um, and then, of course, I ran it for about an hour. It was fine. I sealed it back up, and again, let it sit overnight, clamped it up, and everything. And the next morning, I was able to get up and I re-puttied the outside rim, and then I started assembling the impulse deck. And I think overall, even after tearing this thing open, after sealing it, I think it came out pretty good. If you look here, you can't even see where the window insert uh, piece is. If I can get it to focus. Okay, you're not going to focus. There you go. And all the way around, that's pretty much was my seam, but it's gone. And same thing on this side. And the windows came out really, I mean, there you can kind of see a little bit of indentation, but not too bad. Overall, it came out really well. The window inserts are completely blended, with the outer rim. And if there is any seam lines left over, I'm not going to worry about it because the decals will actually cover that. So that's not going to be a problem. As far as the impulse deck, that gave me a little bit of an issue. It didn't want to quit. It didn't want to fit quite right. So I ended up having to take some microfiles and I kind of just shaped it a little bit where the connection points were, and I kind of refined them a little bit, and then it gave it a much better fit. And then I just took some perfect plastic putty and I filled in around the underside, like right around in here and around the sides, and then I painted it, and that stopped all my light leaks. So in general, it came out pretty good, considering I had to tear it apart. Um, the application for the impulse deck was the same application I did for the deflector dish, which was I masked off the inside when I light blocked, and then once it was done with that, I took the tape off and I added in a round piece of tape in the center of the impulse deck emitters, and then I gave it a very light coating of white, Tamiya white paint. And what that does is it leaves you the hot spot, which you see in the movie, but it doesn't it doesn't like just make the whole thing light up. So you have a center hot spot, and then it kind of fades out on the sides, which is what I was looking for. So that worked out perfectly fine, and I will try to show that to you, but I don't think it's going to come in on the camera. But anyway, that was my issue. I wish I could have reported that the saucer section went together perfectly fine and had no problems, but it didn't. Luckily, I was able to fix the problem. And ironically enough, later on down the road, after I posted the video, one of my viewers, I believe it's Greg's Workshop, left me a comment, which at that point, once I read the comment, it explained my entire problem in a nutshell. And I did not know this bit of information prior to doing this. I wish I had have. So actually, I would like to say thank you to Greg for telling me this, because it was it's one of those things where I wish I knew before I did it, but unfortunately I didn't. But now that I do know, it's going to pay off in the long run, because on future builds I know what not to do, and I know exactly why it does what it does. And I'll read you the comment that he left me. Is I don't know if, I mean, I'm not an electronics wizard or anything like that. I know basic stuff, but this might be useful to useful information to other people that are doing this, that may think, oh, well, I'll put some resistors on LED strip tape and it'll dull it out. Well, it's definitely not a good idea. And once I find his comment, I'll read it to you. And to those of you that are electronics gurus will understand this. I don't quite understand fully what he said, but I kind of do. And I can kind of see why, too. Let's see. I'm trying to find his comment. Oh, there it is. Yeah, so it's Greg's Workshop. He left me his comment after I posted the video. Let me see. Okay, so basically, when I posted the video, and in the video I said that I had to remove one of the LED, one of the uh, resistors because it was causing a problem with lights flickering. He dropped me a line with some information that was very useful to me. Um, Basically, he said that it's common with resistors to have a plus or minus factor of 5%. Um, Basically, he's saying that when you double up the resistors, it causes a out of sync wave effect, is what he told me. Which, like I said, I'm not a electronics wizard, so I don't completely understand that, but I do kind of understand a little bit of it because it does make sense. LED strip tape has um, built-in resistors, and then you tack on exterior resistors to that, so I can kind of see the causing it to kind of go maybe out of sync because it's got two resistors in there, and they're, it might be because of the positioning. I'm not sure exactly what how the strip tape, what how it affects in the strip tape, but basically what he's telling me is that you really should not attach a resistor to LED strip tape because it already has resistors in it. So when you do that, you're essentially adding a second resistor, um, and that's causing that minus or plus 5% disruption, is what I'm gathering, um, which explains why when I pulled the resistors off, the lights worked just fine. So don't follow my example and put resistors on LED strip tape. It's not a good idea. It's a lot of problems. Um, and I want to say thank you to Greg from Greg's workshop for telling me this, because I had no idea that that would cause a problem. But now that I know, and I kind of know the reason behind it now, technical reason behind it, thanks to Greg, um, I know what never to do again. So learn from that. Don't do that. Um, to those people out there that are that really know electronics, will probably understand everything I just said about that completely. Um, but Greg, thank you again for telling me that. It was very helpful, and it's definitely something else I learned that I never knew before. And if you guys get a chance, check his channel out. I was just over at his channel not too long ago, checking out his model builds. He's got some really cool builds that you would be very interested in. So if you get a chance, drop by his channel, give him a subscription. He's got a lot of cool stuff. I know I subscribed because I loved the stuff he was doing. So check him out. I believe, if I'm correct, I think he just posted a video recently. He's working on a TOS 1350 Enterprise. He's just starting it, I believe, and I watched that video today, and looks like it'd be pretty interesting to watch. So if you get a chance, drop by there and give him a subscription. You'll not be disappointed. So anyway, I think that's about it. I'm not going to make this a really long video tonight because I just wanted to share with you my grave error in electronics. Oh, you know what? Before I go, let me light this thing up and show it to you. I don't think I actually showed you the demo yet with this thing fully lit up. So let me do that real fast before I end the video. And plus, it's late. It's getting late for me, and I'm really tired. It's been a very long day at work today for me. I have a very demanding job. More mental than physical, to be honest. Although it can get physical. I can't say what I do per se because it's just, I can't, but it gets physical sometimes. Okay. Well, lights out. And this is running at 9 volts. Alright. So as far as the top goes, there's my blue crystal glowing. The windows on the B-stick came out really good. The effect with dropping the hot glue behind all the windows, especially the back ones, came out really well. The glue dried opaque, so it did a nice diffusion all the way around. And then you can see the little floodlights I have in back of the travel pod airlock here. Actually, let me get you in really close so you can see the window. Okay. I mean, you can't see through that window, but that's because it's really opaque. But you can see up top here, you can see my fiber optics for the floodlights. They came out really well. And then I did the same effect here in the BC deck. I put the hot glue and let it fall and just cover that opening up. So again, it's a diffused light. And then there's my really bright spotlight, which is, common on that ship. You can also see the thrusters. I'll get you back in frame. There's the thrusters. Their fiber optics are coming out really well. And there's the impulse deck, which it's hard to tell because the camera is really overexposing it, but you kind of see the hot spot and you can kind of see it where it's flaring out, which is exactly what I was looking for. So that came out really well. There's the side windows, again overexposed, so I apologize for that. Here's the underside. All my lights are working. Up on our spotlight at the bottom. The only thing you're not seeing is the navigational lights because I don't have the board hooked up or them hooked up to light to power yet, but they do work. So, yeah, that's kind of about it. I do have some other progress made, which I'm not going to get into on this video because it'll just make it way too long, but I do actually have the secondary hull completed. Assembled with the neck and the pylons, but that will be for another video I'm going to post probably next week. I'm just working on this hit or miss at the moment. Presently I'm working on the nacelles, getting them done, which what I will do is I'll give you a sneak peek of one of the nacelles real quick, just so you can kind of see what it's going to look like. Actually, I'll show it to you before I light it up, but there's a static version. Try to get you in closer. Okay. Basically, what I did with that was really simple. I just sprayed black paint over the whole chiller grill. And then I took some sandpaper and I just sanded off the high points, which left the tops clear. And then I masked it off and I went over it with a light coating of blue craft paint to give it the whole idea was I wanted to make it look like when it was static that it was still that it still had a blue effect to it. So I sprayed that on and I think it came out really well. A little bit of touch-up work after it was all said and done, but I think overall it came out good. I'm still working on the rest of the detail painting, but I'll kind of give you a sneak peek of what it looks like lit up. I think it came out pretty good. It's not Canon because I reversed the lighting pattern with these things. It's supposed to be the trenches that are glowing, not the raised sections, and mine are the raised sections glowing and not the trenches. And I know to the purist out there that's not correct, and you're probably going to be crucifying me for doing it, but I did it because it worked out easier for me, because these nacelles were kind of in poor shape mold wise, and this also running at 9 volts as well. There we go. So hopefully it doesn't blur it out. There you go. I think that came out really good. I am actually really happy with that. I got the grid line, or I got the lines in there I wanted. I got the glowing effect. I was able to mask this off on the back side here and paint it pretty well. Just overall, I'm really stoked at how I pulled that off. I think it looks really good, and I think it will look really great once it's all attached to the kit. So, happy with that. It was definitely a chore, but I think it came out awesome. And it is a blue light in the back. But, yeah, I'm very pleased with that. Um, so like I said, I'm working on the finishing this nacelle up with detail paint, and I have one more hanging up that has to be done as well, and I can get those attached. But anyway, my next video I'll actually bring out the secondary hull, and I'll show you how that went together, explain the issues I had with that in the neck as well, and show you how the arboretum came out. The arboretum came out pretty good once it got in the ship. So, but like I said, that'll be a next video. So that's gonna be it for this one, guys. It's just a short one. So I want to thank everybody for watching. I want to thank all of my viewers and subscribers. Also, I'd like to welcome any new subscribers that I've picked up recently to my channel. Hope you guys like the content. If you guys have anything you want to see particularly, or if you have any ideas on how to improve the videos, such as like more actual build videos where I'm actually building on camera instead of just showing off what I've done, after I've put it together, let me know. I was even thinking about doing a live stream. I don't know what you guys think about a live stream, but give me your opinions about that. If you guys want to see a live stream, I'd be more than happy to actually do one. But I don't want to do something that's going to bore you to death. So it's an idea. I want your guys' feedback on that, if possible. And just in general, anything else you have for idea-wise to improve the channel, go ahead, feel free to drop me on the comment section below and let me know. So, anyway, if you guys can just put together, give me your opinions on the live feed thing. Let me know what y'all think, and we'll go from there. So, thanks again for watching. Thank you for subscribing. If you have not subscribed yet, please do, and if you can, please give me a like. That really helps out my channel a lot. And until next time, everyone, you guys have a great rest of your week, and I should talk to you guys sometime next week. So happy modeling and be safe. Bye.